Okay, hello everyone. So I got a quickie but a goodie for you today, and it's a really cool thing that Barry teaches an improv class about how to play a diminished seventh chord in your solos, and I've heard it called doubling the diminished. I've heard a couple of ways. I don't know what to call it, but it's a very cool move. So here's the diminished seventh chord, right? And we'll put it into a very sort of standard bebop line over a G minor 7 to C7 to F major, okay? And we might go. Okay, so remember we play C7 for the G minor to C7 and then F major, um, for the F major, obviously. And so we're going to play the C7 down from the 7th, B flat, down to the 3rd, E, which gives us the opportunity to come up a diminished 7th chord that is found on the 3rd of the C7. So there's a diminished on every 7th chord, and it's right here. You can probably see this a little better if I did this. Here we go. Okay, so here's the line. Okay, let's put that aside for a minute and just look at the diminished. And it resolves to the 5th of the F major. Here it is. Okay, so there's a couple of ways of playing this, right? You can play it straight. That's one. Two, you can come all the way first to the flat 9 here, and then slide into the 5th. So let's call that, slipping and sliding from the 9th. So you have 1, 2, right? Incorporating it into the line. Oops. The first one. Second one. Okay, so that's 2. 3, you can go up to the sharp 9, to the E flat, and then surround the C. So you'll go. Okay, so that's the other way to play that diminished, quote unquote. So you might go. Okay, so number 1, number 2, number 3. Right? Number 4, you can come down and you can actually surround the 3rd before you come up. And it sounds like this. So you would go, here's the surrounding. The surrounding occurs actually before the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 ways. That's the only ways that I thought were being done in class, but I think you can find some others. So for example, if you go, instead of launching off of the first note of the diminished, if you launch off the second note of the diminished, you can get a couple of other variations. You can do that flat 9 slip slide thing off of the 5th. And you can do the sharp 9 slip slide thing off of the 5th as well. And I think we'll just leave it there, because you could probably come up with more, and actually leave some in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. Make some up. But anyway, so here are our 6. Straight. Let's flat 9 slip and slide. Right? the sharp 9 slip and slide. The surrounding on the bottom, right? The flat 9 slip and slide off the 5th, and this flat sharp 9 slip and slide off the 5th. Okay, so that's the 6 that we sort of decided on leaving it at. But here's the thing. Remember, and there's another video on this, which I will link to in the description, we can pivot. What is pivoting? Pivoting is octave displacement, according to Barry Harris, and we can pivot all of those. So we can go, that was the first one. If we pivot it, it becomes, okay, so that's 1 becomes 2. The second one, how would we pivot that? Okay, the third one, the sharp 9 slip and slide, that's what I just called it off the top of my head. I mean, give me some comments, let me know some other names we can call them. Larry. Here's Larry pivoted. Lost my train of thought there. So 1, pivoted. 2, pivoted. 3, pivoted. 4 is the one where we do the sharp 9 on the bottom, the surrounding on the bottom. Pivoting that one. That's a nice one. And then we have the other 2 that we did where we go off with a 5th, and we can pivot those 2. And I've never done this, so stay with me. Here we go. Okay. And then the pivoting with the sharp 9. Here it is again. And pivoting that one. So, 12 different ways of playing the bebop diminished line to vary it. What are some applications? Well, you know, Barry teaches the Indiana a lot, and the end of Indiana has a 3-6-2-5 into A flat. You know, where it goes, where it goes, when I dream about the moonlight on the so we can apply that, so doing it the straight way. See, because we're ending on the 5th, we would come down, you know, the 7th to the 3rd. Here's the diminished on the 3rd of the F7. And then for the B flat minor 7, we'll just come down to 6th chord, which leads us to the 3rd on the E flat 7. So here it is. Okay, so how would we apply some of these permutations of the diminished? Well, let's try them one by one. That's 1. That's 2. Very, very pretty. 3. You don't hear these very often, right? Some you hear more than others, but some are rather off the beaten path. And you don't have to stray from the beaten path that much to get to them, which is the real beauty of this. Let's try this one. Okay, and let's try pivoting. Now, by pivoting, we're going to change it a lot. You'll have to find your way around. So, I mean, we could just do this all day long now and start to find all different ways of playing the 3-6-2-5 at the end of Indiana, or any other tune for that matter. So, yeah, doubling the diminished, a really great and simple trick for coming up with some more creative shapes based on that standard bebop diminished lick. Happy soloing, guys. And if you find these videos useful, you know, please do like and subscribe, and consider visiting my Patreon page, which I will link to in the description, patreon.com/IsaacRoz, and then I'll post all kinds of you know, transcriptions and other interesting content relating to what I talk about in these videos. So and share to all your friends, and you know, and thank you for watching, and I really do love all the comments. So, you know, share some of your ideas, share some of your ways of doing the diminished. If you want to come up with creative names for the different types of diminished, it always helps to have nomenclature. So yeah, there you go, doubling the diminished. Thanks. See you on the next one.